Well, thanks for being with us on this Wednesday. I'm Jeff Cornish.
And I'm Damian Lotus.
Yeah, Damian, we got a lot going on out there, and for some, your first, at least, measurable snow of the season is coming to the high ground of the interior.
That's right. In addition to the snowfall, we're also tracking temperatures in the teens here for some areas. So, yes, a very winter-like blast coming to the U.S.
And we do have a deadly storm in progress in the western U.S., two reportedly dead because of the high impacts of this powerhouse storm that has really strengthened. The core of this is west of Washington, but the impacts of that atmospheric river hammering Northern California.
That's right. Record-breaking rainfall here to some of these areas. But on the other side, you can see another area of low pressure here churning across the Great Lakes. On the backside of that is where we're seeing that colder air being pulled in, and also some snow flurries continuing.
And that cold air is going to take over again or through the day tomorrow as well. The blue on the map there is where we're going to have highs in the 30s in places like Grand Forks and Fargo. Bismarck, you're into it there. And Chicago, a high of 38. The seasons are changing on us, Damian.
Yes, it is. Even in New York, they have the Rockefeller Christmas tree up now, and it's not really going to look like it, but it's going to feel like it.
They haven't plugged it in yet, right?
I don't think
it's
so.
Standing. All right,
yes.
We're going to get ready for that one. Well, our top story takes us to the eastern U.S., where we're talking about rain and a major cool down. We're going to take you to Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, taking a look at this picture, Jeff, you can see cloudy skies out there, 50 degrees. Mild for this time of year. It's going to start to get a little bit chilly here as we head into the overnight hours, though, on the backside of that area of low pressure.
And if you look closely, there are a couple of white caps out there, so there's a bit of a breeze. This time of the year, the Great Lakes can become pretty angry. Water temps, by the way, 4 of the 5 Great Lakes have been at or above record warm temperatures for the water temperatures, but we are going to see these temperatures dive, and the Great Lakes water surface temperatures are a little more variable than what we find in the ocean. It's shallower bodies of water. They do respond a little more quickly to changes in the weather. So get ready for change there. We'll have to see how this plays out. In fact, we're probably going to be speaking with our friends at the Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab next week on the other side of this cool down to see the status and their expectations for what's to come. But right now, we're dealing with a big blast of the leading edge of this thunderstorm. There is a thunderstorm just offshore north of Ashtabula. This is a cold front that's aggressively charging east. And this time of the year, the Great Lakes are still warm. And that's why you can see an isolated lightning strike or two northwest of Ashtabula, northwest of the Erie area, because of that little bit of instability offered by the warmer lake water. But overall, a band of rain will pick up here, moving through Ashtabula right now and Conneaut, Ohio, and soon to reach, well, Youngstown. You're in on that right now. A burst of rain. Also, a few thunderstorms up into areas around Morgantown, east to Cheat Lake, and moving into western parts of Garrett County, Maryland. But look at this. The snow is on the map, and Damian's going to be talking more about the north central U.S. in a little bit in our big 3. But our impacts here in the east, we've been screaming for rain. And we had a couple of underwhelming rain showers here yesterday, last night into the Hudson Valley. We need a lot more. This band of showers will likely promise a little bit more because there's going to actually be low pressure that strengthens offshore. Current temperatures, we're warm in advance of this. It feels a little bit more like October out there. 64 in D.C., but we're down to 41 behind the front in Detroit and in Columbus. And look at this. Here comes rain and even some snow into the interior northeast. In a little bit, we're going to be talking to Dave Dobbeck, longtime meteorologist here at AccuWeather. He specializes in the I-95, and we're going to talk to him about the rain and also the snow that begins to win out. Look at this. Thursday afternoon, snow in the Poconos up into Binghamton, New York, and this really takes over into the interior. Many of you will see your first light accumulation of snow of the season. Some of you will see more than just a light accumulation as a winter-like storm. You can see in the deep blue zones, the Poconos, and right down the spine of the Allegheny Plateau there. We're dealing with the Laurel Highlands with some snow into Friday, and some of the heaviest snow will occur in the Poconos. We're carving away the valley there in areas like parts of Lackawanna County. So if you're down on the valley floor, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, you're not going to see as much as the high ground nearby. But Mount Pocono, get ready for it. 6 to 12 inches of snow in the deepest blues there. Damian, I know you have mixed feelings about the change coming here as you moved here from the southern plains, but it's going to get a little bit snowier out there for some.
I will say, and just giving you the perspective of someone who grew up in the southern plains from Oklahoma, the way we see it is if it's going to be cold, we might as well get some snow for it. So
I love that.
That's going to be the case, because if it's cold, might as well get something to show for it, right? But yes, we will be watching out for the first snowfall here for some areas as we head into the weekend. Let's go and get you ready for the latest here, tracking the latest across the southeast. Big changes coming into the forecast. Speaking of cooler weather, right? Radar over the past 3 hours, you can see still some showers up to the north, but overall we have a clearing trend here continuing with high pressure starting to dominate the forecast. You can see for some areas, not a cloud in the sky. We have some light showers there across the central Florida peninsula, but overall we're going to be dry here across this region as we head throughout the next 24 to 48 hours. Temperature wise right now starting to cool off for some areas, Nashville, Memphis, over towards Little Rock. Otherwise we're in the upper 60s to low 70s, even some 80s for Jacksonville and Miami, 78 right now on the west coast of Florida in Tampa. Now as we head into tonight, this is when we're going to start to see and feel some of those cooler conditions. Look at Jackson, Mississippi, 39 degrees and overnight low. Real field temperatures will be even lower than that here because of those strong winds during the overnight hours. 41 for Nashville, 41 in Little Rock, 41 in Memphis as well. And here's the setup for that major cool down for both Thursday and Friday. This area of high pressure, that rotates clockwise, and that rotation pulls in air from the north. And guess where that air is coming from? Canada, where it's very cold right now, super cold. So it's going to make its way across the southeast. So much cooler air moving in, much drier air moving in as well. Here's the overall setup for Thursday. There's that cooler and drier air pushing its way across the Gulf Coast and pretty much all of Florida, and much colder air here across northern parts of Georgia and the Carolinas, and the higher elevation of the mountains. We'll even see some snow flurries developing. So highs for your Thursday will be a mix of 50s, 60s, even maybe some 70s, but you got to go to central and far southern Florida to see some of those 70s for highs on Thursday. And then Thursday night, that's when we really feel the effects of that colder weather looking in. Take a look at these overnight lows. These aren't the AccuWeather real field temperatures. These are the actual forecast lows. And 35 in Raleigh, 37 for Little Rock and Jacksonville, 39. This is going to be Thursday night, Friday morning in Nashville and Montgomery. So a very cold stretch of weather here pushing into the southeast here as we head into the weekend. So switching gears, it's going to take you live right now to Baraboo, Wisconsin, where we've been dealing with some snow showers at times today. And Jeff, taking a look at this big three, we're going to be watching out for more winterly blast for some areas.
And last evening, Damien, we were looking at, I think it was Lakota, North Dakota, where we were just beginning to see a little coating of snow, a little dusting on the parked cars. So kind of following this east now.
You did, and you saw some of those flurries in that video right there. So it is happening here for some areas. And speaking of that, watching more of a wintry blast. This one's going to be across the north. So Jeff, we were talking about the chance of snow for some of these areas. I'm going to be primarily focusing on the cold, because this is the cold expanding Thursday morning, tonight and Thursday morning. Our AccuWeather real field temperatures in that darkest shade of blue, that's where it's going to be in the single digits.
So kids in Omaha should be prepared for AccuWeather real field temps in the single digits tomorrow morning at the bus stop. Make sure they're ready for this. You don't want them to be out there starting the day off on the wrong foot.
That's right. We've been talking about and highlighting the first chance of snow, but this is also the real first cold snap for these areas. So yes, for the kiddos who still have to go to school, make sure that they are prepared for this weather.
All right. And this cold's going to hold here and migrate a little farther east over the next couple of days. So overnight lows by the actual air temp, teens in Rapid City and Scottsbluff.
That's right. It's going to be a cold start here for your Wednesday night and Thursday morning.
All right. Hey, we got high impact rain, wind, and snow. This is, again, it's proven to be a deadly storm here. We're aware of 2 fatalities associated with this. It was a bomb cyclone. This storm actually more than doubled the requirement of 24 millibars, a strengthening measure of barometric pressure in 24 hours. We saw about 2.5 times the requirement for this to be a bomb cyclone. Powerful, powerful storm.
That's right. It's normally supposed to be 24 millibars in 24 hours. I think this peaked in the 50s in 24 hours, so a very rapidly intensifying dangerous storm.
And you can see some wind damage there, evidence of that in Washington and Oregon at times. Very stormy stretch. Just a brief look at some of the rainfall. We're looking at 8 to 12 inches of rain up into areas near Redding and Eureka. And the burn scar zone here, this is the Park Fire burn scar, 400,000 acres where there's no real vegetation to hold things in place. And Damien, the snow in the passes, incredible snowfall. That's 3 to 5 feet there at Lassen Volcanic National Park.
This is definitely going to be an impressive snowfall for some of these areas. And now looking forward, everyone, I'm already thinking about Thanksgiving. So if you are as well, here's the setup as we head into next week. There will be an area of low pressure bringing rain chances, even some snowfall and colder air there across the plains into the Great Lakes. So if you're going to be traveling, which AAA says what, 80 million people are going to be on the roads. If you're in that area right there highlighted in red, that's where it looks like we could see some travel disruptions.
We're beginning to kind of at least put some dents into this drought here, but it's at the expense of those travel delays.
Yes, it is.
All right. And speaking of travel delays, as we head west, San Francisco, this is not a surprise. Major delays in progress. We got widespread heavy rain. It's windy out there. Not a good time to be coming in or out of San Francisco International Airport. The late week forecast, well, we got more where this came from. This atmospheric river event's not going to end quickly or quietly. So we still have more delays for the west and the northwest. And we're going to get into some delays into the east as well with the rain and the interior snow. So the number of flight cancellations likely spiking tomorrow. And we'll still be above average, worse than average here through Friday with a lot of these activities to the east and the west.